Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you a working prototype I've been working on this week. It's an agentic go-to-market system that spans across marketing and sales and customer success, and it does that with shared memory and context. It doesn't just answer questions, it really understands, it acts, it follows through across all of these touch points. And I think it's hopefully a good example of how you can really start to move core metrics like engagement and sales pipeline velocity and retention in meaningful ways. These are all things that ultimately impact customer lifetime value and how companies are starting to get um, much more ROI and more significant impact from their AI investments. And so, um, some of the challenges that I've come across this year, I think you've probably been hearing about these things too, but lots of failure with AI pilots and AI projects. I've heard about this from numerous subject matter experts throughout this year. Lots of examples of companies trying things with AI but not getting any type of measurable business impact. Um, Recent MIT study shows a 95% failure rate. A lot of that was when, in particularly with AI pilots in marketing and sales. And it really shows like this, the limitations of this kind of more traditional approach where we try to take AI and apply it in terms of like a point solution, a grassroots kind of adoption. We try to automate an existing process or plug AI into an existing process, and that all is leading to minimal impact, minimal gains. But we have this opportunity to take a more strategic approach, and there are more and more examples of companies that are doing this and having a lot of success with it. It's really an opportunity to take a big step back, rethink the workflows, reimagine the experience, think about the importance of unified data across that, and then that's where we start to see really kind of scalable solutions and a lot more impact. And so I've been looking at examples this week and last week of companies that seem to be doing this well and finding success. And I found some really interesting case studies. One of them is from the e-commerce company Casper. Um, this was pretty interesting. Casper basically replaced their current chatbot. They took the opportunity to reimagine the entire experience, and they created a consultative AI assistant. So not a menu bot or a chat bot, but something that really engages shoppers across their catalog. It handled a large share of customer support and ultimately raised customer satisfaction or CSAT scores, all while containing cost. And so I think the key takeaway from these type of case studies and early examples is that there's an opportunity to really redesign end-to-end workflows and wire AI into the data foundation, hopefully a unified data foundation across the business. And that's what really leads to this measurable ROI and a lot more impact. And so um, you can see how those ideas hopefully translate into the demo I'm going to walk through with you. It's really just an imagined company. I called it Nestwell Living. You can think of them as an e-commerce company that's focused on providing ergonomic furniture and workplace wellness solutions. And the demo I'm going to show you will work across marketing touch points, sales touch points, customer success touch points, all while keeping a shared memory and context. So it eliminates silos and really creates this kind of seamless customer journey and better customer experience. So here we can hop into our demo. And here you can see that I've created just a simple Streamlit app to represent Nestwell Living, our fictional company. And again, they provide ergonomic furniture, workplace wellness solutions. And here's just a place where we can give it different prompts as if we're interacting with marketing or sales or customer support or coming to the website and interacting with their knowledge base. And then on the left, you can see I've got a couple of different personas, Alex and Jamie. And then here's where hopefully it will get interesting. You can see as we go through and interact with the system, it's going to update traits and recent history, and it's going to use that to make the experience better, make the recommendation better. And so, go through a few prompt examples. So the first one is like a marketing type of prompt. And so here I'm saying I'm outfitting a team lounge. Our budget is about $1,500 per room. What do you recommend? It's going to process that request. It's going to come back with some recommendations. It's going to create a lead for the sales opportunity. And then here on the left, you can see it's updated some of the traits. So it's going to put this user in the B2B segment. Preferences are for a lounge, budget per room, $1,500. And then our history is updated as well with what happened with this marketing interaction. And the next prompt I can give it is, you can imagine later on, there's an interaction with sales. So we're going to say we need a quote for 10 units. It's going to go through here, prepare a quote, total cost. It's going to apply the B2B volume pricing because it knows that Alex is in the B2B segment. It's going to update the role as an office manager role. And then the next prompt is an example of a support issue. Say Alex comes back later on and says, my order is delayed, I'm thinking of canceling. Down here we can see as it processes, it looks up the order information. It is delayed, but it's expected to arrive in about 5 days, and then offers to assist with canceling if that's what the customer wants. But here you can see it's updated in the traits, the risk of being at risk, and potential churn. Then the last example is maybe a return to marketing. Later on, Alex comes back, interacts with marketing, and says, we also want quiet pods for the focus room. And as it processes that, it's going to come back with recommendations for the focus room, but it's also going to respect that $1,500 per budget per room that Alex indicated earlier. And that's a good example of just kind of going back to this memory and context and keeping that front and center with the recommendations and the interactions. Great, so that's it for quick demo of this prototype, and we can jump into the code and take a look at some of the things over here and how this is set up and how it works. This is a pretty typical AI agent pattern where we have a orchestrator, or sometimes that's called a router, and a planner. And so if I jump here, look at my code. Here we have an orchestrator. So every message that we gave the system, it hits this orchestrator first. It pulls the user's profile memory, then it routes through a LangGraph planner. And that's really going to be our explicit state machine for the flow. And we can take a look at the planner graph. And this is where we're going to choose the right node. So is it marketing? Is it sales? Is it support? Is it the knowledge base? And that's going to be based on just deterministic rules for clarity. For demo purposes, this makes it really easy to understand how things are being routed. We could make this more sophisticated later on and call out to LLMs in this step, but for now we're keeping it simple. Then we have a LLM tool caller, and here's where we register the domain tools. So we have tools like recommend bundle, price quote, look up order, create case. We expose them to the LLM via function schemas, and then the LLM decides which to call and with what arguments, and ultimately composes the final reply from the tool outputs. And then down here, if we look at our tools, we have things like calendar, catalog, CRM, help desk. These are just pure Python adapters, so they're mocked up for the demo. They're just deterministic, they're safe. For example, this help desk caps goodwill credits by tiers. And then the last thing to show you maybe is if we look at memory here, this is where we have interactions and profiles, just JSON, where we're capturing profile information, those traits, and then the interaction, the history. And that's really it in terms of the demo, the prototype. Just to recap, this isn't a chatbot. It's really an agentic go-to-market system that's going to understand, going to act, going to remember across the full funnel, across all these touch points. And that's really what starts to leverage the real power of AI and starts to lead to much more measurable business impact, impact to all of our core metrics, and ultimately value, customer lifetime value. The architecture here is one that balances control and flexibility. So control, I'm using LangGraph just to be really safe and deterministic and keep it really simple so you can see like how things are getting routed, what the rules are, what the caps are, and then some flexibility because we have LLM tool calling also included. Hope you found this helpful. Thanks for listening.